What's up there, guys? So, somebody asked me, and this has been asked numerous times now, why I don't shoot gaps with my drones or my FPV equipment, why I don't S-bang, why I don't do heavy freestyle, and the reality is I just don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not a proximity whore. I don't need to be. I'm not out to prove anything to anybody. I'm a cinematic flyer. I pretty much think I always have been. A lot of that probably rubbed off from GPS stuff. But the reason why the GPS doesn't intrigue me like it used to is because I'm not a bird. I can't fly like a bird. I kind of can, but really can't. FPV offered me the freedom of being 100% a bird. I can fly how I want to, the way I want to, all of it. It just felt so much more pure in essence flying FPV than it ever did flying GPS. But that doesn't mean that I need to go out and destroy my GoPro every 3 days and break my rig every time I go out. And, it's like, yeah, I rip, but I don't rip. I just don't see the point. I have drones and they've lasted me years. FPV rigs that have lasted me years without having full crushing and breaking and smashing every little part out of them. Like, it just, that's some people's thing. If I want that kind of adrenaline rush, guys, I'll jump on my motorcycle and I will rip through traffic fast to give me that adrenaline of the unknown. I don't need to do it with my drone. There's no point. I just don't see a point. I'd rather take you on a nice winded long adventure and cruise through things and give you more of an aerial perspective of what I'm doing, as well as close ground contact without heavy need for proximity. I don't like all the flippy floppy stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the occasional flip, and you'll notice whenever I flip or roll, I always try to make it look as graceful as possible because I realize not everybody's into the flippy floppy stuff. That's a lot of people. That also means that my standing in the FPV community won't ever be amazing because I'm not trying to go out and just blow everybody else's skills out of the water and create my own path in life of FPV. I just don't care. I'm a FPV cinematic flyer. I think I always have been. I've always enjoyed that aspect of it way more than S-banging and trying to break my equipment every time I go out. The adrenaline rush you guys get from that, I can just as easily get on my motorcycle. So, I don't know, man. That's why I don't S-bang. That's why I don't do tons of proximity. I'm not out to smash my rig every time. It's not fun fixing it all the time. You always hear about people complain about how expensive FPV is. It's only expensive because you're intentionally breaking your shit. That's the reality of it. You're intentionally going out to break your fucking shit. That's why it's expensive. Yeah, I don't intentionally go out to break my shit, so FPV is nice and cheap for me all the time. I rarely ever break my rigs. It just doesn't, it's so low on my meter of breaking shit. So, and normally it's just replacing a small part or parts. And that's it. It's back up in the air. I didn't trash an entire GPS quad that now needs to go back for repairs or buy a complete new one. Like, that's the reality of it. You don't have to go out and fly like everybody else. You don't need to emulate everyone else to be part of the FPV world. Do your own thing. Fly your own flight. Like Mike, like Night Train told me, ride your own ride. It's kind of the same thing with flying FPV. Fly your own flight, man. It's whatever you want FPV to be for you. It doesn't have to be expensive. You're choosing to make it expensive to push your skill set so that you can be one of those guys that S-bangs and, it's not me. It's not what I want. I just like a nice, fast-paced, cinematic shot of everything and show you an entire environment, and that's what I'm about. I like the beauty of it. It's not about pushing my adrenaline to its peak. Sometimes I will rip. If I'm feeling myself, right music is on, I'm in the right train of thought, yeah, I might take it out and rip a little bit and beat on my quad. But for the most part, you rarely will ever see me doing that because that's just not my style and that's not how I roll. Be yourself, man. Fly your own flight. Deuces.